afternoon, welcome to Repair. So today I'm working on a Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 Lite, otherwise known as the SM-T220. I think it's fairly clear what the problem is on this one. This one is a smashed screen job that needs some repair. So we're going to work through and we're going to get the screen replaced. Now this isn't like your standard Samsungs. It is still a heat it up to get the screen away from the frame job, but the actual back is solid metal and should come away in one piece. I've not done one of these before, so it's going to be a little bit of an experience for me, but from what I'm led to believe, there's a number of clips around the outside that we need to unclip and get undone, and then we should be able to lift this out more or less as one piece. The only thing we need to do, as this is a 3G model, is get our SIM tray out. So I'd say let's go ahead straight away and do that, but stupidly I have forgotten SIM tray tool. So I'm going to go get a SIM tray tool, get this ejected, and then we'll crack on. Right, so now our SIM tray is removed, we can crack straight on. So let's have a go at this. As far as I'm led to believe, as I say, we need to work down the edges and then we should be able to open it up. But being as I've not done one of these before, who knows? So I'm going to start with just a soft pick and just see how far I can get. I believe there is catches all the way down, so we'll just try it and see what's what. It does look like it is beginning to pry actually, so hopefully it is just as simple as that. I've started by the buttons already because this is actually already dented, and I'm hoping that will give me a bit of an advantage to get in it. It does look like it's going to be quite straightforward actually. I'm surprised at how easy that's coming away. I think you can see there as I'm leveraging it. And then I'm wondering if it's just going to be a lift out quite easily job. So let's just keep working and see how far we can get. I don't know if this is just going to come away or we're going to have to be a bit more forceful with it. I'm conscious that this is metal, so it will bend. Let's just keep trying. Oh, there we go. Hey! So there we are, just like that. Managed to get that back off in one piece. That's not too bad actually. It's quite tough, but it's not too bad. So first thing we're going to do, as with every repair, we're going to get the battery disconnected. I'm just going to rotate this a little bit to make my life easier. As always, small Phillips is the way forward. So we are going to start up here, I would guess. It looks like there's 5 screws that we need to undo, which I'd imagine is going to free that. So let's just work through those and see how far we can go. I have got a mag mat off to one side, so just if you're doing this sort of thing, you need to keep track of your screws, I'd highly recommend that. I think we're probably going to have to undo this one as well, because it looks like it's hooked into that bracket. So let's start with that and see how we go. Is this going to come up nicely? That does. I think that's actually all one piece. There we go. So it is all one piece. That's interesting. So that's the top speaker there. Who knew? So that means we can get our battery disconnected now, which we've done. Now, there's a couple of ways we can go about this. At this point, really, we want to heat it up and get this out of the frame, but I'm quite conscious that I don't know if I really want all of this stuff in the back of it while we're doing it, just to prevent a little bit of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and start disconnecting a few more bits, probably take the boards out. We're going to have to get to these flex cables as well, which I think run under the battery. So I think our best probable way to do this is to strip the whole thing down and go from there. So we will go ahead and get that done and just work our way through until we've stripped the whole thing out. A lot of these screws are the same size, so that makes life really easy. Just quickly undo all of those and get our main board out. I'm assuming this will just lift out now. This camera might be a challenge, so let's disconnect that and pull him up. It says our front-facing camera disconnected. Is it going to go in one? There's a lot of bend in that board. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, it is. Just got to be forceful. Plug our camera back in just to keep hold of it. So that's our main board, SIM tray, and everything good there. Popping that off to one side, we'll move to the bottom of the tablet now. So again, all I think probably similar size screws. Just having a look so far, yeah, they are all the same size. There's rather an excessive amount here from Samsung. Not quite sure why we need as much as this to hold this little board in, but there we go. Let's just keep going. And then this should give us access to the bottom, and then we can get our battery out. So how do we reckon this is going to lift out? Are we going to need something to help pry it up? I'm just trying to be careful where I pull. I don't want to damage anything. Oh, there we go. Found a place. So just a plastic bracket. Again, speakers in there as well. And then I know that we need to disconnect that, and that connects to our front screen as well. Is this going to lift up, or is this going to need some kind of prying? That's the question. I think a thin blade might be our way forward. So let's just grab one of those, and then we will see if we can pry it up. So let's just give that a go. Just very carefully get under here. I don't really want to be buying another one if I can avoid it. Probably should be using plastic tools, but hey, can't win them all. That's so difficult to get out. There we go. Found a place. Yeah, there's no components on the bottom of the PCB anyway, so that's all good. So that's out as well. So our last thing I think we've got to do is get this battery out. Now, are the adhesive gods going to be nice to me today? That is the question. Just trying to make sure that I don't tear that adhesive. Hey, that came out in one. Right. Question is, kids, is the second one going to be as good? No. That's the immediate answer there. Right.
A few moments later.
Some force later, I managed to pull it. Rather a lot of force, in fact. So that's our battery out. Pop that off to one side. So there you go. You can see there that we've got one flex going there and one flex here. We are going to have to lift this up because we're going to pull it through the screen. Now, the next part of this is a lot of heat. That's the only way we can free it from the screen. We're going to have to do that. I'll do that off camera so that you don't have to watch me heating it up. I will have my heat plate set to about 90 degrees, and I will just let this warm through until it's warm enough for me to free the edges of the adhesive. The adhesive of the screen. And then what we're going to do, we're going to pry down each of these edges. Just very careful, very similar to an iPad. We'll start with a blade, and then we'll get some plastic picks in, and we'll just work our way through until the screen is out. Now, when you go to refit this, you are going to need some LCD glue. That's the only way we can do it. Now, I do have just a replacement screen, and as you can see, this has got no tape or glue around the edge, so we're going to have to use glue as opposed to tape because there's not quite enough of a bezel, and then we'll glue this back in once we're done. So I will get that heated up, and then I will show you the next steps once it's hot. Right, this is now hot. The question is it hot enough? So let's find out. So I'm going to get straight under here with a pry tool in between the plastic frame and the glass, just very carefully, because I don't want to mark the plastic frame if I can avoid it. Exactly like that. And then I should be able to get a pick in at that point. There we go. The metal pry tool can go. It's just used to literally get started. And then once this is hot, you are going to have to work fairly quickly, but at the same time, it should also be quite easy. I mean, you can see how fast that came out then. So the bottom of this is already free, look. And I might actually just be able to use the heat and just pull it. So there we go, just like that. And you can see our flex cables that then come through. So there we just need to, the last thing we need to do is just a little bit of cleanup on the frame, just to get rid of those final bits of glass, because we don't want any of that in there interfering with the reinstall of the screen. So again, just a little blade will help you get that out, no issue at all. Right, and there we go. So that's it. We're now ready for our new screen to be installed. Our mid-frame's completely clear. The only thing that we've retained on here is our buttons. But again, all absolutely clear now, easy peasy. So let me get cleaned up and then we can get on and get the new screen installed. Right, so let's get on with getting our new screen fitted. We've got our adhesive now. Let's give this a go. So move our frame off to one side. This is our new screen. So just for making my life easier, I'm going to coat around the edges of the new screen with the adhesive, and then we're going to very, very carefully fit this. So let's crack on and get that done. Okay, and that's our adhesive all the way around. So we're going to work quite quickly now. We're going to have to post these two cables through and try not to get covered in adhesive whilst we do it. So let's try and do that quite quickly. So best way to do this, we're going to go this way around, which is going to be even trickier to show you. We're going to post that one through, and then tilt that one down, and we'll paste that one through. And then what we'll try and do now, just touch the glue, so I'm probably covered in it now, is just line everything up like that. And that's our screen in, adhesive bead all the way around. We're just going to give everything a really good push down now. So we just want to make sure this is really well sealed in. And hopefully, once the adhesive has a bit of time to set, it will stay. But that will take a little bit of time to go off. So, next thing to do, let's start getting our boards back in to this. Okay, so let's start getting everything fixed back in very quickly then, and then we can get somewhere warm. So first thing we're going to do, we've got our board back in. Again, this all just clicks into place, so very minimal amounts of install. And then we're going to get this cable, this flex cable plugged in, just like that. And our speaker assembly and vibrate motor. Again, we should just hear this all click into place pretty quickly. Just like that. And we've got a million or so screws down here now. If you remember, they are all the same size, so that makes life super easy from our point of view. If I could even screw them in. Okay, well that bottom board's in place. Let's just flick this around now, and we'll start working on the top. So we'll grab our main board first. And just pop that back in. There we go. Make sure our cameras are in the right position. That one is, and that one is. Okay, and then we're going to get this flex cable installed, and then we'll jiggle the flex cable into the right position. Jiggle being the technical word. So now what we're going to do is this. Hopefully it will just bend on the top there. We'll sort of get those bends in the top position there. Okay, well let's get this board fixed down first and then we'll move on to that bit. So if you remember, it was our silver screws earlier that we did, and these ones with the little gold things around them are going to be for this board here, so we're not going to do those. So we're just going to work on the other parts of this PCB, ignoring those ones. Right, so that PCB is in. Not happy with that camera placement particularly. Let's just give that a reseat. It just doesn't look like it's in quite the right place. That's better. Now it's definitely in the right place. So last but not least, we need to get our battery in. Not 100% happy with that cable placement, but that's about as good as we're going to get it. So battery, I have pre-adhesived with some super chunky adhesive strips on the back. I'm going to use those and stick this bad boy back in. Get that, bring that little bit of rogue adhesive there. Okie dokie. Right, so I'm going to do this like this, I think. See if we can get this to sort of sit in the right position. There we are. And just like that, we should be able to clip that one in now. Right, speaker assembly next. So this is going to go in like this, straight down, lovely and easy. And then I've already got my screws positioned so that they're going back in the same way they came out. I don't think it matters because they are all actually the same size. So let's just quickly get those in. And then we can give it a power on test and see if we've got some life in that screen. Hopefully we have, and we can just move on. Last one. And there we go. So using, I think it's the top button on the side. Let's have a look. It is the top button. Let's just see if we've got any life. Might be flat. I think it probably is flat. So I gave it a bit of a charge and it did eventually turn on. Everything is working now. It's a little bit sluggish, this tablet, but I think that's probably just the tablet more than anything else because it's a bit sort of seen its day a bit. But it is working nonetheless. It's obviously not on Wi-Fi, which is why you're getting that error. I've still got to take the screen protector off at the moment, so it still does look a little bit battered from above, but it's in good working order. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully this has been a bit of an experience for anyone who's followed the video. It's not the easiest to repair. It does involve some glue and some heat and a few other things. So it takes a little bit more time than the normal Samsung tablets. If you found it useful though, please drop me a like, leave me a comment, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.